Well, folks, we came up short. Apologize for that. I got in the race a little late, but even though I got in the race late, you all did the Herculean work. That's for sure. First of all, obviously, we had to get signatures, and a lot of people didn't think we were going to be able to get signatures. But I want to thank Diana Willis and Cindy Lamar and all of the folks who came together to help us get those signatures. I'm going to thank some folks shortly here who had a part in that, as well as worked so very hard throughout the campaign to get our message out throughout the entire state. Obviously, there was, and I'm going to go through a long list. These folks worked so hard. Most of them are not here with us because they come from the other end or the middle of the state, and I'm going to see them a little later. But I wanted to mention them to you, my friends and family here at home, so that you know who worked so very hard for all of us all across the state. There's James Snyder and Bruce Snyder and Susan Martin and Eric Rowe and Rick and Jenny Runstead and Mark and Janice Hallwigger and Diego Morales, Camilla Lee, Lynette Sherrill, Diane Hubbard, Julia Blank, Rob Ziegler, Jim Dalbo, Phil Kiko, Matthew Faraci, Jennifer Irwin, Joan Lewis, and Chris Crabtree was also helpful there. And obviously, trying to herd all these cats together, including the candidate, was our campaign chairman, Carl Little. Please. As well as our campaign treasurer, who signed all those reports to go to the federal government, Tim Deisher. Tim, thank you for Well, as I said, I've come up short, but I don't think it's been short in getting a message out, very positive for the Republican Party and for the conservative movement and for all of us Hoosiers who want to return to constitutional government. It was an interesting race, obviously, all throughout the state of Indiana. We held numerous candidate forums with most or all of the candidates. We had town hall meetings everywhere from Crown Point to Jasper to Columbus and Evansville, and all points in between. And I was very pleased with our turnout and the fact that we got folks involved in the political process, many of them for the first time. However, this is not 1994. It was a different time, and it's a different era in politics, as can be indicated by the sign. But it's a different era, and that era is a mixture of the old and the older in politics itself. It's my hope that ultimately we do return back to that spirit of 1994, where the grassroots are heard throughout the state and the country. Whoops. And we ultimately have an opportunity to send a message loud and clear to Washington, D.C. I want to commend also the other folks in the Republican primary, obviously Senator Coates and State Senator Stutzman, Richard Bainey, and Don Bates Jr., who all ran a very spirited campaign, and we all spent a lot of time together talking about the other issues. Very different than the other party. The other party, you will not see them on YouTube. You will not see them on video. What they have going for them is nobody knows what they want to do. But we're finding out what they want to do. And the American people are going to be heard in November. That being said, Senator Coates has won this evening. And as he was wont to say on the campaign trail, we've got to stop the bleeding. That's what's going on in Washington, D.C. Our government is bleeding red ink all over our children's future. And if we don't do something to stop that bleeding, then our children's future is in peril. And that is why tonight I'm going to let you know that I am going to vote for Dan Coates for United States Senator. I am going to support him because it's vitally important. It's vitally important that, as he said, we stop the bleeding. The other side has no intention of returning our federal government to responsible governance. All they know is to get past the next election cycle and to win whatever constituency is necessary to do that. However, they have misjudged the constituency that is the American people. We are resolved to take our government back, and we are resolved not to let them have anything to do with it. So it is my intention in the next several months to be like all of you, responsible citizens that wish to return government back to the people and to start us on that path. To begin on that path is to return this United States Senate seat back to the Republican Party and to Senator Coates. And so I would encourage you to do what you can to help Senator Coates along the way. It's going to be an uphill battle. Obviously, all of the money of the Democratic Party, all of their special interests, including George Soros, and all of the people that would do America ill, and that would hand our country over to big government and to the socialists who wish to operate it. And so it's important that we all come together now to make it a reality that this seat is handed back to Republican hands. I want to thank all of you for everything you've done to help me in this. The obvious question is a political future from here on. Well, in 2006, I said I'll never say never, and tonight I'll never say never as well. I will only say it is very highly unlikely. This was an opportunity for me, for conscience sake, to say I did everything I could to turn our federal government around. However, as I've mentioned often, that while it was my desire to help in returning our country back to its constitutional framework, my hope is not in government. My hope is not in an institution. It never has been. My hope is in the simple fact that the Creator of all things was made a little lower than the angels, was conceived of the Holy Spirit, born of a virgin, led a sinless life, and was taken up a hill called Mount Calvary, where he was killed, and where his blood that was shed is for my salvation and for my eternal hope. There is that is the only hope that can cause real change. And so I want you to know that while I am beaten tonight, I am not down, and I never will be down, because of my hope in Him and my hope and my love for all of you. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being a part of this. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.